Welcome once again to Language Lounge, your go to space for grammar, comprehension, reading strategies, and writing. This month, we begin exploring the new NCERT textbooks for classes 4 and 6, starting with Unit 1 in both. Last week, we focused on Class 6, Poorvi, Unit 1, Fables and Folk Tales. As part of this unit, we read a contemporary story by Sudha Murty, written in the style of a folk tale. Though it is an original piece of writing, it reflects many features of traditional folk literature, such as simple storytelling, relatable characters, and a clear moral message. We also introduced the difference between fables and folk tales, completed the story explanation, and discussed key questions under the Let Us Discuss section of the textbook. Let's now move on to the remaining exercises based on this story, which include vocabulary development, comprehension tasks, grammar activities, and creative writing. These will deepen our understanding of the story and strengthen our language skills. Let's move on to the Let Us Think and Reflect section, which encourages us to go beyond what is written and explore the characters, thoughts, choices, and consequences. Read the following lines and answer the questions that follow. He spent all his time to learn about the magic potion. People cheated him often, promising to tell him about it, but he did not give up. His wife, Madhumati, was tired of this and also worried because she saw how much money Ramanatha was spending. She was sure that soon they would be without money. Based on this, let's reflect on Ramanatha's motivation. Reflection question. Complete the sentence. Ramanatha did not give up because. Why do you think he kept trying? He strongly believed that the magic potion could change his life and make him rich. So he kept trying despite being cheated many times. Next, let's look at how certain actions in the story led to specific outcomes. Use the clues from the text to complete this table. Cause and effect table. What happened? People promised to tell Ramanatha about the magic potion. What do you think happened as a result? He got cheated many times but continued searching for it. B. Ramanatha was spending a lot of money. How do you think that affected his family? His wife, Madhumati, became worried they would go broke. This reflection helps us understand how beliefs, choices, and consequences are connected in the story, just like in real life. Now that we have reflected on Ramanatha's choices and their outcomes, let's take a moment to check our understanding of key details from the story. True or false? Comprehension check. Read the following statements carefully and decide whether they are true or false based on the story. A. Madhumati was troubled about what her husband did. What do you think? Was she really troubled? Yes, this is true. She was worried that they would lose all their money. B. Ramanatha was very happy digging his fields. Was he really happy? Or was something else going on? This is false. He only pretended to enjoy it. He was actually still obsessed with the magic potion. C. The sage wanted to show the right path to Ramanatha. Do you think the sage had good intentions? Yes, this is true. The sage was trying to teach him a lesson about hard work and letting go of greed. These statements help us revisit the core values and character motivations in the story, especially how wisdom often comes through experience and reflection. Now, let's focus on the sequence of events in the story to sharpen our understanding of how the plot unfolds. Read the passage carefully. Carefully, he took the bottle to the sage. The sage smiled and muttered something over the water. Then he returned the bottle and said, "Try it out." Ramanatha sprinkled a few drops on a copper vessel and waited for it to turn to gold. To his surprise, nothing happened. Based on the passage you just read, let's figure out what happened first and what happened next. Here are the events. Choose the option that lists the events below in the correct order. Can you find the correct sequence? Let's look at the options. Take a moment to think. Which one makes the most sense based on the flow of the story? Yes, the correct sequence is B, A, D, C, E. Let's break it down. B. First, Ramanatha gave the bottle to the sage. A. Then the sage smiled. D. The sage said something in a low voice over the water. C. Ramanatha dropped a few drops of water on a copper vessel. E. Finally, Ramanatha waited to see if the magic worked. This helps us understand the order in which key actions happened and how the story builds tension around Ramanatha's hopes. Let's practice using words from the story in context. Fill in the blank with the correct word from the passage. Seeing that the plant had dried up, the gardener blank space some water on it. Answer: sprinkled. Why? We use sprinkled because it means to scatter small drops of water or liquid over something gently, which fits how the gardener watered the plant carefully. This matches how Ramanatha sprinkled a few drops on a copper vessel in the story. Next, let's think about Ramanatha's feelings in the story. How might Ramanatha have felt when nothing happened to the copper vessel? Ramanatha might have felt shocked and disappointed when nothing happened to the copper vessel. After placing so much trust and hope in the magic potion, the failure would have left him feeling frustrated and discouraged. This moment of disappointment leads us to understand the sage's real intention behind the magic potion task. Let's now explore what the sage asked Ramanatha to do and the lessons hidden in those instructions. Answer the following. What did the sage ask Ramanatha to do to make the magic potion? The sage asked Ramanatha to plant banana plants and water them regularly with his own hands. During winter, he was to collect the dew that formed on the leaves and store it in a bottle. Once he had collected 5 liters of dew, he was to bring it to the sage who would chant magic words to turn it into the magic potion. Let's move on to question number 2. Why did the sage ask Ramanatha to do everything himself? The sage wanted Ramanatha to stop chasing magic and start working hard. By making him do everything on his own, like planting trees, taking care of them, and collecting dew, Ramanatha would learn to be responsible. This helped him understand that success comes from effort, not magic. Next, question number 3. How could Ramanatha have a big banana plantation after 6 years? Ramanatha planted rows of banana plants on his unused land and took care of them himself. Every year, he planted more. His wife helped by selling the bananas in the market. Slowly, their farm grew, and after 6 years, it became big and successful. Now, let's explore how the sage finally revealed the real truth to Ramanatha. Question number 4. How did the sage make Ramanatha believe that there is no magic potion? The sage made Ramanatha believe that the dew would turn into a magic potion, so he spent years collecting it. After Ramanatha tried the potion and saw that it didn't work, the sage revealed the truth. He showed him the wealth they had earned from selling bananas and explained that it was hard work, not magic, that had brought them wealth. Then Ramanatha understood the true value of working hard. Next, question number 5. Fill in the before and after table about Ramanatha. What he did before meeting the sage. Ramanatha didn't care about farming or his land. He thought magic potions would make him rich and ended up wasting both time and money. What he did after meeting the sage. He planted banana plants and took care of them. He found out that working hard is the real secret to success. Now that we have seen how Ramanatha's hard work led to success, let's practice some vocabulary words from the story to strengthen our language skills and understanding. Let us learn. Read the following words from the story. Use the words correctly to complete the paragraph below. There are 2 extra words in the box that you do not need. There was a farmer who had a blank space coconut plantation. Huge. He worked hard and did not depend on blank space. Luck. Every day was blank space, but he did not give up. Difficult. One day, a man bought a bag of coconuts from him and blank space to pay him the money the next day. Promised. Days passed and the man did not pay him anything. The farmer felt blank space. Cheated. About 2 months later, he met the same man and asked him about his money. The man said, "Oh, I had forgotten. Now I blank space buying coconuts from you. Remember." And he paid the money. Now that we have strengthened our vocabulary with important words from the story, words like huge, luck, difficult, promised, cheated, and remember, we can see how these words help us understand the farmer's experiences and challenges more clearly. They highlight key moments like promises, challenges, and honesty that drive the story forward. Next, we are going to explore a fun and important part of English vocabulary. Words that sound the same but have different meanings and spellings. Let's look at some examples from the story and new words that sound alike but mean very different things. These pairs can sometimes confuse us, but learning them helps us become stronger readers and writers. I and I. I, the word we use to talk about ourselves. I, a part of the body used to see. Your and your. Your shows that something belongs to you. Your, a short form of you are. Dew and dew. Dew, tiny drops of water that form on plants early in the morning. Dew, something expected to happen at a certain time in the future. Son and son. Son, a boy or man in relation to his parents. Sun, the star that gives us light and heat. One and one. One, the number that comes after 0. One, past tense of win. 8 and 8. 8, past tense of eat. 8, the number that comes after 7. See and see. See, to use your eyes to look at something. See, a large area of salty water, part of the ocean. But what are these? Same sound, different story? Sun and sun? Sea and sea? 8 and 8? 1 and 1? I and I? All of these words sound exactly the same when we say them aloud. But their spellings and meanings are completely different. These are called homophones. Homo means same. Phones means sound. So, homophones are words that sound the same but are spelled differently and mean different things. They can sometimes be confusing, but they are also fun to learn and use. Let's practice homophones in sentences. Here's a fun challenge. Choose 4 homophone pairs from the list and write a sentence that uses both words from each pair correctly. Here's an example to get you started. I ate 8 bananas for breakfast today. Now you try. Sun, sun. Can you think of a fun sentence using both? Here's one to spark ideas. The sun was so bright, my son had to wear sunglasses. Next, sea. From the cliff, I can see the endless sea stretching to the horizon. Moving forward, we have one. When she won first prize, she was the only one jumping for joy. Let's try 3 more examples to build our confidence. Dew, dew. The morning dew on the grass is due to the cool night air. Your. Don't forget to pack your jacket if you're heading out tonight. It's chilly. I. Whenever I wear contact lenses, my eye sometimes feels scratchy. These examples show how the same sound can tell very different stories depending on spelling and meaning. Let's make meaningful matches. Now that we have explored how words sound, let's look at how we can connect ideas to build better sentences. In this activity, you will match phrases from column A and column B using the connecting words in the middle to join them into meaningful sentences. Look at the table carefully and think about how each part fits together. Smart matches, sharp reasons. Let's look at how these matches help us express when something happened or why it happened. The children submitted their work before the deadline. Before tells us when. They finished early. He did not want to try rock climbing because of his fear of heights. Because explains why. He was scared. The children ran towards the gate as soon as the bell rang. As soon as shows quick sequence. Bell rang, they ran. Nitin was late to school as there was a traffic jam. As explains the reason. Traffic made him late. Why this activity matters? Connecting words help you link ideas smoothly. Show cause and effect. Example, because, as. Show sequence and time. Example, before, as soon as. Story connection. In a bottle of dew, we clearly see actions, reasons, and outcomes, just like classic folk tales. Using connecting words helps us explain why Ramanatha made his choices and what happened next. Tongue twister challenge. The letter B. B. Let's add a fun twist to our lesson. Try saying this aloud. First slowly, then faster each time. Bunty Bhaiya bought a big bunch of bananas. A big bunch of bananas was bought by Bunty Bhaiya. Can you say both clearly at full speed? Challenge yourself. Create your own tongue twister. Now it's your turn. Use as many B words as you can to create a fun and tricky tongue twister. Think of names, objects, actions, places that start with B. Example, Bobby baked buttery buns beside a busy bakery. And that brings us to the end of today's adventure through A Bottle of Dew, a folk tale full of wisdom, wonder, and wordplay. If you enjoyed learning through this story and activities, share it with your classmates, fellow parents, or teachers. Subscribe for more lessons. Comment with your creative tongue twisters. I would love to read and try them. Up next, we will dive into The Raven and the Fox, a classic fable where clever words lead to surprising lessons. Until then, stay safe, keep learning, and never stop being curious. Bye for now.